right. Okay, we are going to start off with, before we start the assignment. View. There we go. Okay, before we start the assignment, we are going to have a little fun. Okay, I'm going to put this, you can play this, Michael, while I'm playing it. There you go. This is going to help you. I have 2 games, and they're both going to help you with the pen tool. So you just hit next, and you select P, hit P, and then you start clicking. And then you hit escape. And that gives you, let me turn that down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so you click to start here, and then it takes you, you're guiding that little spaceship. And this is going to help you with your pen tool, along with the assignments that you have this week. The pen tool is just, it's a feel. I can tell you all the technical ways to use it, but you have to gain the feel, and that's what you will learn. It's going to tell me I'm using too many clicks at some point. I'm going to lose. Oh, see, I lost. You got to stay within that area. So that's this one game. And then the other one, this one's kind of hard. I'll give that to you too. And I will send all these out too to everybody. So this is to master the pen tool. These will both help you. So this is a tutorial stage, and I won't spend a whole lot of time on this because I'd rather go into the, oh my goodness, I'm slow today, into the assignment. So see, it's showing you what your pen tool should do. And the pen tool is these little squares are your anchors. You're dropping anchors, and it creates a line. So 2 anchors create a line. And I will tell you this a million times between now and the end of this mod, is the least amount of anchors, the smoother the line. So this one that we just watched, this is one of your exercises. And this is when I talk about having a feel. So if we click here, we need to stretch it and see our handle. This is a handle. Our handle makes the curve. And see, now my pen's loaded with the curve, and it makes it really easy. And there we go. Nope, it didn't like it. Come on. I'm probably clicking too far outside that little box. There we go. And there. So you keep going with this, and this will help you practice. And I guess it kind of makes sense if you listen to the first video, is like you have to practice. I can show you how to do this, but I can't teach you how it feels. So the only way to figure out how it feels is if you do it and you practice it a lot and you gain that muscle memory with your hand. And the other thing I will say is there's 2 warning signs. If I had a big flashing light right now, make sure that the fill is off, and we'll go through that when we get into the assignment. No fill. You just want to have a stroke. And the other thing is, you really, if you don't have a mouse, go find one, because doing this with a pen or the trackpad is going to torture you. If you figure it out and it makes, and you get it with a pen or the pad, you're going to be ahead of the game. But if it is fighting you, go get a mouse and it makes it easier. So those are the two games, and we're going to go right into the assignment for week 2. And read all about the pen tool and the curve tool and the pencil tool and watch the video. And then what you're going to do is you're going to download, oh, that's so aggravating. You are going to download this file. Everybody see that? It's probably not going to let me do this. Let me see. No, it's not. Okay, download. I should be using a different browser, I know. Okay, so I'm just downloading that file. It's going on my desktop. It's called Week 1 Assignment, and it opened up. So it's an AI file. Yeah, Michael, it's finding what works for you. But I would suggest if you're a new to Illustrator and this is stressful, then go get a mouse. So swatches, make sure your fill is off before you even start, okay? So you have a pen tool. In my pen, let's go pen tool, you have the curve tool. They're basically the same tool. The pen tool can do everything. The curve tool can do a curve, okay? They're basically the same thing. They're breaking out into specialties, let's say. So your pen tool, you can do everything. This is your curve tool. This is your pencil, okay? Those are what we're gonna be really working with. So I'm gonna blow this up, and you have to do everything on this worksheet. And I would keep this worksheet for the rest of your life too. Save another one, keep it in your files. There are all kinds of different jobs you will get as a designer, and you could get a job where you're working in Illustrator all the time. You could get a job where you work in Illustrator once every 6 months. If you get that job and you have to draw something for a logo, if you have this assignment and you do it and you practice a little bit before you have to do something, then you have this to refreshen your skill, because this will refreshen your skill if you do not use Illustrator a lot. I didn't use it a lot in my career, but I have other friends that's all they used. So it just varies on the industry that you go into and what you do. So save this, because this will get you back in the game quickly. So we're gonna start off with our pencil tool, okay? And I'm gonna blow this up a little bit. And again, remember, turn your fill off, no fill. If you are trying to draw these with the fill on, what it does is it's trying to make the shape as you go along, and it'll cover up this template underneath. And if we look at our layers, this document is set up for you. These templates are locked and you're on where you're supposed to be automatically. So don't worry about the layers. If you have your fill on, so let's turn it on. And if I start drawing, and you'll watch, this will start trying to fill in. Oh, I just want one continuous line. It's more on the pen tool. So say we were using the pen tool. It's gonna start trying to fill this in for me, and just, oh, I don't have that on. There we go. See how it covers up that line? You see that, Michael? It starts to mess with you. And there's a lot, I have students all the time, they're like, I don't understand why this isn't working for me. And it's because you have the fill on. And once, it's kind of a funny thing. It's a simple thing, but I'm telling you, once it goes off, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I was doing it right. Why? It was just fighting me. Okay, so for this one, make sure you read the directions. Use your pencil tool to draw the following shapes. Do not make adjustments, just draw the best as you can. Now on these guys, I want to make sure you're going to use one continuous line around the outside, but then go back in and fill in the ear and the eye and the fins. So don't forget those little details, okay? So you're just going to take your pencil tool, and this is going to be a little bit of a boring watching me do this, but it's what we have to do. We will do most of the section 2 in the middle, and then we will work on the butterfly. And we're going to also talk a little bit about type too. So we'll have 2 videos. We'll do this one and we'll stop. We'll do the next one and we'll stop. And then we'll do the butterfly. So you guys can kind of, as you're working, have it playing. Okay, so pencil tool. We're just going to go, oh, I'll do one thing. Double click on your pencil tool. I have mine set almost to smooth. If you have it accurate, it's going to drop. It's going to be more like your hand. So let's look at the difference. I'm going to say, okay. And if I start drawing, see how many anchors. So like we said before, we'll go over, and I'll say it a lot of times. The anchors are going to be those green squares. See how many anchors that dropped? Now, if we change that and we go where I had mine, and I try to draw the same line, there's only 2 anchors. So if you're accurate, it's going to drop an anchor every time you shift it a little bit. If you have it more smooth, the less anchors, the smoother the line. Okay? So those are your tricks. And double clicking on that gives you that dialog box, and you can play with it. Okay? So take a note of the less anchors, the straighter the line. Yes, the less anchors you have, the smoother your drawing is going to be. You're going to need anchors, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying if you have a straight line, like if you're drawing a straight line, anchor point at the beginning of that line and the end of that line are going to make a smooth line. If there's 10, it's going to be a bumpy line. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, so now is when it's like watching paint dry. Okay, so I'm gonna do this little demo. I'm gonna go a lot faster than you guys should. Okay, take your time, and you will see improvement. I would do, my keyboard's in the way. I would do this in one sitting. Artboard 1. I would do the pencil tool, and that's how you practice. And I'm going way faster than you should, okay? But I don't want to torture you guys. So you do that one, and then we're going to go over and do this one. And Michael, I don't know if you want to have any questions, you can get on your mic and ask me a question while I'm doing this. I can't see the texting at the moment. The chat. Okay, so I'm going really fast because I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, this is like torture. I get it, lady. So make sure that you do all 3 lines of this, and I'll blow this back out so that you can see it. You can use a different color line or a black line, whatever you want. Use a regular line. Don't use any of the fancy strokes that we played with last week. Just a regular line, no fill. See, I messed that up. It doesn't want you to go back in and fix it. It just wants you to feel the mistakes that you make. See, and then I'm going to go in and do that. And I'm going to make my circle. Okay, that guy's done. Now I'm going to do the fish. Remember, you're just using the pencil tool on this page. Tracing has always been a great way to like teach your hand how to draw. And computer-wise, it's really, if you really practice this, you're teaching your mind, your hand, muscle memory, and it will really help you gain the feel of how to draw. And go. Remember, you're going to go slower and be more accurate than I am. Okay, so that's my first one. Second one, then you go down to the third one. You will see a dramatic difference between this line and this line. So do this artboard 1 and get up and do something else. Don't move on to the next one, because let that feeling that you've learned, let it settle. And the next one's a lot harder, and you need a little break in between. And as designers, we get really focused at the computer, and you're in your screen and you're gripping your mouse. I mean, I can just feel it in my hand right now from doing that. It's like I was intense doing that, and I was doing it way too fast. You guys are going to go slower and try to be more accurate. But get up when you're done with this and relax. And then a couple minutes later, come back over and do the second one. So do you have any questions about this page, Michael? Okay, good. We're going to stop this recording. And